unto my feet, and a light unto my path. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet, and a light unto my path, and a light unto my path. You're the light unto my path.
Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace. Where there is doubt, let me sow faith. Where there's despair, bring your hope. Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace. Where there is darkness, let me shine light. Where there is sadness, bring your joy. Oh, divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive. It is in pardoning that we are pardoned. It is in dying that we are born to eternal life.
when you've given your all and seems like you can't make it. No matter where you come from, no matter where you're going, here's a place where you can take comfort in the knowing that whether if you've come to stay a while or just passing through, this door is open to you. Come and let's be silent. Come and share a hug. Come, let's pray together. Come love and be loved. From the blissed out to the turned out, from the pampered to the abused, this door is open to you. Come on in, come on in, come on in, come on in. The God in us recognizes the God in you. Whether you're black or white or gay or straight, Christian, Buddhist or Jew, this door is open to you.
Good morning, Claremont Center for Spiritual Living. How are you this morning? Good. Nice to see all of you. I'm listening to a hum. I think it's just an AC unit or something. There we go. Thank you, Ed. It's good to be cool, though, isn't it? You all remember it was only a month ago where we were going, I'm so hot. And now you're not. Isn't that grand? So welcome. I'm Reverend Tracy. Delighted to have you join us this morning. Say hi to those of us that are out there online. We know that we're all one big happy family, and if we're not happy, that's another reason why we're here. Because when we come together, we remember the truth of who we are, and that happiness is something that we can choose. And we're really, really good at supporting each other in being our best selves. So give yourselves a little pat on the back for getting here this morning and being willing to put yourself out there a little bit and to drink in all of this love in community that we represent. So happy to see you. So playing with me today on platform is our practitioner, Reverend Drack. He's in our practitioner role today, which means he's available to pray with you after service if you'd like a little spiritual uplift. He'll also do our invocation and a short reading to get us started. And as you know, our practitioners are always available to support you. There's a written request prayer box up front here. You can leave a note in for yourself or someone else. There's an option on our phone line if you call the office to leave a confidential message. And our phone numbers are on the back of the bulletin for your practitioners if you'd like to reach out at some other time via text or to call them. They're always happy to know the greater truth for you wherever you are in your life. We have some great music this morning. We, of course, welcome Jeff on keyboards, and we have Rick Dale once again. So happy to see you, happy to have you. And at this point, I say we get ourselves centered, shall we? So I'm going to invite you to clear your lap and clear your minds and turn off your phones. And if you're home, sit up just a little bit straighter on the couch. And if you're comfortable, close your eyes and take a deep breath. And let the sound of the bowl take you within to that heart space, that place of love and light within you. For there is within each of us a sanctuary of spirit, a place where we may rest and where we may know a greater truth.
And so within that sanctuary of spirit where the truth resides in each and every one of us, we recognize right here and now that each and every one of us are unique expressions of God. That each and every one of us has a purpose, a significance, value in this world, or we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't have been created. It's that simple. So we rest in the knowing that each one of us carries a seed of magnificence that is uniquely our own expression of godness, of spirit, that each and every one of us carries a certain power, a beauty, a grace, a dignity, a vitality. All of these things we carry within, regardless of anything that has ever been said or thought by ourselves, by others, we know the truth of who we are, that each and every one of us is this expression of God. Each and every one of us is important, and each and every one of us matters. And so it is. So the first thing I'd like to read, in fact, I think Nisa did this a week or two ago. She read from the Four Agreements, if I remember right. And I'm going to do the same thing today. That's my first reading. And it's in the chapter of the first agreement. I had to look at that. It's one paragraph. So, we talk to ourselves constantly. I know that's a surprise. And most of the time we say things like, oh, I look fat. I look ugly. I'm getting old. That's mine. I'm losing my hair. Already happened. I'm stupid. I never understand anything. I will never be good enough. And I'm never going to be perfect. Do you see how we use the word against ourselves? We must begin to understand what the word is and what the word does. If you understand the first agreement, be impeccable with your word, you begin to see all the changes that can happen in your life. Changes first in the way you deal with yourself, and later in the way you deal with other people, especially those you love the most. In the second reading, I think all of you are this is going to be recognizable. It's from A Return to Love by Marianne Williamson. Yeah, I see nodding already. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine, as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And so we let our own light shine. We unconsciously give other people permission to do the same as we do so. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. And next, we have some music. Thank you, kind sir. I always look forward to his music.
Well, you know, we're all in this world and have heroes, and some of us sometimes get to be heroes, and the truth of the matter is, when you see a hero, you're seeing God, and when you're being a hero, you're being God. So I'm going to do this song about a hero. Must have been cold there in my shadow to never have sunlight on your face. You were content to let me shine, that's your way. You always walked a step behind. So I was the one with all the glory, while you were the one with all the strength. A beautiful face without a name, for so long. A beautiful smile to hide the pain. Did you ever know that you're my hero? And everything I would like to be. And I can fly higher than an eagle. For you are the wind beneath my wings. It might have appeared to go unnoticed, but I've got it all here in my heart. I want you to know I know the truth. Of course I know it. I would be nothing without you. Did you ever know that you're my hero? You're everything I wish I could be. And I can fly higher than an eagle. For you are the wind beneath my wings. Did I ever tell you you're my hero? You're everything, everything I wish I could be. Oh, and I could fly higher than an eagle. For you are the wind beneath my wings. Oh, the wind beneath my wings. Fly, fly, fly away. Oh, you let me fly so high. Oh, fly, fly so high against the sky. So high, I almost touch the sky. Thank you, thank you, thank God for you, the wind beneath my wings.
Fabulous. Thank you. Whew. So this morning, on our last in our series on what matters, we're talking about you matter. And so I'm lighting the candle for you. Who you are, just as you are, right where you are. The very form and expression of spirit on earth, right in each and every heart. And we do all have our heroes. You know, we know those people who create change in the world or bring a light into any room they walk into, or maybe someone who had a hand in forging your own character. But oftentimes we don't see the impact we have on other people. And a lot of times we discount our own value, right? We say things to ourselves like, well, you know, nobody will notice if I skip the party. Or maybe something like, you know, I'm only one vote. Does it really matter if I vote or not? Or maybe we say, I don't really like being the center of attention, as if somehow being in the spotlight says you're more important than someone else. We think our own worth has to do with what we produce or whether or not we match up to what society's current standards are. instead of realizing that we have an intrinsic value because we are alive and we are here and life itself has value through us. That's a given. Now, it's kind of a busy week. Usually in the upper right-hand corner of my talk notes, I put down if it's a holiday or if there's something special or, something I want to make note of for next year this time, somebody's birthday I need to say something about, but I forget birthdays, so that doesn't really happen. But like it says, the equinox and Yom Kippur and the high holy days, and we're kind of busy. But, life always has a lot going on. I mean, at least my life, there's always a lot going on. And it's hard to remember what's important when we're super busy or there's so many activities or there's just so much to do. And if we don't consciously take time to be, we can get off balance. We can get off center. We can forget the bigger picture. And we really do better. We live our best life when we think of and remember the bigger picture, because that is where our power is. It's in this moment of life that we are right now. But when we look out all the time and we see the chaos and we hear the noise and nobody ever stops talking, it's easy to get off balance. So a couple things are happening this week that I want to point out. So it is the fall equinox. That is the point in the cycle of our rotation around the sun where the night and day are equidistant. They are the same length. We are right at the balancing point. And the spiritual message of the equinox is to recenter, to realize that shadow and light, dark and night and day, are both necessary to life, and that just as it occurs in nature, of course it occurs in us, and that the shadow and the light that we are, when in balance, brings us to center. And what do we find at the center? At the center of our being, we find our spiritual nature. We are reminded of the true power that we have, of that which exists beyond what's going on in the world or in our personal worlds. It's a time of season also. It's a changing of the season. It's the beginning officially of fall. And so when you think about coming to the end of something, usually at the end of the day, the end of the season, the end of a chapter in your life, you kind of like clean up, tidy up. Hopefully you do the dishes in the sink so that when you go to sleep, you can rest easy so that you will be ready to greet the new day. Now, in the Jewish tradition, the day begins the night before because it says in the Hebrew scriptures that there was darkness and then there was light. And so tonight begins the holiday of Yom Kippur, which will go until sunset tomorrow, which is the end of the holiday cycle for the Jewish New Year. So Rosh Hashanah was 9 days ago, which is the New Year, which is all about eating sweet things and being with family and getting ready to celebrate a new year, just like everybody does for a new year. And then the next 10 days are called the days of awe. And it is meant to be a process of going within, looking, assessing your life, making adjustments, and cleaning stuff up so you're ready to have a sweet new year. So we have this process in the Jewish tradition that occurs over the 10 days, but primarily at the beginning of Rosh Hashanah, primarily at the end of Yom Kippur, of realigning with our spiritual nature. And so what that cleanup looks like is that we are meant to atone. Now, atonement is one of those loaded words, depending on your religious background, that might mean something dark and heavy, and you've been bad, and you should make up for it. Or you can look at the word itself, which literally means at one, to bring about reconciliation, to bring to oneness, which is a process of spiritual realignment, aligning with your center, moving yourself, your attention, your energy, your thoughts, your feelings back into that place where you recognize the greater truth that life is about oneness, that we share far more than we are different. So you do that in your own life, and it looks like making amends. It looks like making that phone call that you put off for 3 months. You need to finish that up. You need to get that done. You need to write that thank you note. You need to extend and accept forgiveness for yourself and for other people. Because part of the tradition is you do not carry debts over from year to year. So you either pay them or forgive them. Let them go. Start over. Rewrite the contract for a new year. In other words, create a clean slate. Create an open space for you to step fully into a new beginning. Do so unencumbered. So in this tradition, those 10 days are meant to be for you to clean up all your human stuff, so that when you get to the synagogue on Yom Kippur, you are ready to make right with God. You are ready to say, I am here, I am ready to clear everything out that no longer serves me. And so the main prayer at Yom Kippur is called Al-Het, and it is the declaration of sins. I know it's not a word we use a lot, but it's the stuff that we all do. It's the, I was impatient with my kids. I hurt somebody's feelings. No, I wasn't totally honest with that person. It's the stuff that we as human beings fall into that we know really doesn't come from our highest vision of ourselves. There's a great little article from Danielle Kupke who said, and it says, despite what you may believe, you can disappoint people and still be good enough. You can make mistakes and still be capable and talented. You can even let people down and still be worthwhile and deserving of love. Everyone has disappointed someone they care about. Everyone messes up, lets people down, makes mistakes, not because we're inadequate or fundamentally inept, but because we're imperfect and fundamentally human. And that's what this prayer does on Yom Kippur, is to say, we are human. So when you confess, it's all in the plural, and you do it in community. In other words, I'm not the only one out here messing things up sometimes. We want to be forgiven for these mistakes that we've made. We want to do better. We want to set an intention to improve next year, and we do this together. So this time of year is an opportunity to remind ourselves that it's good to pause and assess where we are and to realign ourselves with the greater truth of life so that we might live as the love that we are, that we might stand in the power of life that we are here to express, because that is what brings us a sweet new year. And that can happen at any moment. See, the thing is, if we want to know our own power, if we want to understand where we are in life, who we are in life, why we're here, we have to go within, and we have to understand that life itself is valuable. We would all agree, right? If you can't catch your breath and you think you're going to drown, what do? You fight to breathe. You can't help it. If we see someone we care about somehow in danger or being threatened by something, we can't help it. We jump into action. We are hardwired to live. So life is valuable. We are life. Therefore, each one of us is valuable. We each matter in this world. Now, growing up, you may or may not have had issues with self-esteem. I know I did. I mean, I'm sure not everybody felt like they weren't enough in the world. At some point, maybe everybody did. Not enough, I don't have enough, I'm not cute enough, I'm not tall enough, I'm not strong enough, I'm not, fill in the blank. We all have a not enough somewhere. The word esteem, like self-esteem, the word esteem means to determine the value of something. Well, you know what? Values change all the time. Our own, societies. Not spiritual values, but the human values change. Here's an example. A bottle of water can be $1.29 at the supermarket, $2 at the gym, $4 at the movies, and $6 on a plane. Same water. The only thing that's changed was the place. So the next time you feel your own worth is undervalued, maybe you're just in the wrong place. Yeah. You see, we are of value. And if we're being told we are not, we are in the wrong place. That's the universe saying, go on now. You're ready for something else, someone else, someplace else. A new job, a different relationship, a bigger family. We are of value. And within us, when we go within, when we do our spiritual work, when we get quiet, there's no doubt. There's love. There's a stillness, a calm, a peace, a deep, abiding joy, an energy and essence of life that lives in every heart. We each have our own gifts and talents, but we're not meant to use them in comparison to someone else. We're meant to spend them in this life. We're meant to give that energy to life from us so that we might exchange with other people for their gifts and talents, that we might collaborate and work together in community to lift everyone, to support and be supported, to be kind and accept kindness, to reach out a hand and to accept a hand. And the only way to really do that is to just be you. To really be your authentic self in life. You know, the whole imperfect, quirky, beautiful, downright weird, magical person that you are. To be that out loud. Because when we do that, and you know this from being around people who are like that, when we do that, everyone is energized. Every situation has a solution. Every relationship becomes an exchange. We get very, very clear on living large in our selfness. Because when we do that, we aren't selfish. We are instead part of a larger tapestry of life that is beautiful and magnificent, even when it's messy. And why should we bother? You know, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to know yourself, to figure out why you do what you do, and to decide you want to change it, and then practice, and then, try to figure out what to do with people that bother you. And it's a lot of work. Why? Why do we do it? Because we're here for a purpose. There's no one here that doesn't have a reason to be here. But I think we get a little bit hung up on what we think that reason is. The word purpose is either an object to be kept in view. So that's like when you have a direction that you're going in. So you keep your eye on the goal, on the aim, on the intention that moves you forward. Or it also means the proper function for which something exists. Our proper function is to love. Our proper function in life is to be love. To express it, to give it, to receive it, to recognize it, to nourish it, to sustain it. Ernest Holmes tells us that love is the self-givingness of life. It's the givingness of life to life itself. It's whatever supports life is love. And we are that. So we're here to help, nourish, and sustain and encourage life. in all its many forms. So it's a unique path, and it's also a universal path. It's the foundation on which humanity is based, all of life is based, and it's our own very unique and individual expression. You all know you are very unique in and of yourselves, yes? Yes. Mm-hmm. The other thing we get hung up on is we think we have to do grand things. We have to do fabulous things. But we're not all Martin Luther King or Ruth Bader Ginsburg or Jonas Salk. What if your purpose in life is fulfilled in the way that you live from kindness and compassion and giving in your everyday? What if every smile is part of your purpose? What if every joke you tell to make someone laugh is part of your purpose? What if living in a way that is positive and uplifting as best you can and receiving support when you can't, what if that is, in fact, the purpose of life? I think that it is. I think that it is. So you make dinner for your family. You volunteer to paint the library. You call that person you haven't spoken to in a while. You write a letter. You merge gracefully onto the 5 freeway. This is our purpose in life, is to express love. Jack Kornfield says the things that matter most in our lives are not fantastic or grand. They are the moments when we touch one another. So on Facebook this week, my sister-in-law back east posted a picture of my nephew, Sam. So I've told you before, they go to Chateauguay Central School, and a central school means that they have everything from pre-K all the way through high school in one school. Now, they have separate areas. There's an elementary school and a high school. They have their own classes, and it's set up like you'd go to a separate school, but it's all in one compound. So the first month of school, all of the sports teams take turns greeting the little kids before school and walk them to their classrooms. So my nephew Sam is 6'4", 215 pounds. He is a big boy. Handsome, big boy. Little baby face still, but. And I have this picture of him holding a pink backpack in one hand and the hand of a little girl in the other hand. She's probably 4. She has her pink sparkle shoes on, and he is walking her to class. That's our purpose in life right there. Because here's the thing. Sam will always remember doing that. He will have that little tender event in his heart always. And whether the little girl will remember specifically or not, we don't know. But isn't that the point? We don't have to know in order to trust that we have an impact on life. I guarantee you there's an impact on her life, whether she remembers that one day or not. My niece that is now in her 20s and a mother herself, when she was 8, I picked her up to take her out for the day for her birthday, just the 2 of us. We hadn't done that before. It just sounded like fun. We went to Santa Monica. We went on all the rides. I bought her a leopard print hat from the kiosk. She looked fabulous in it. We had a great day. She still talks about it. It was one birthday. I wanted to do it every year, but it happened one year. That's the best I could do. She still talks about it. We don't know what that kindness means to our friends, to our family, to ourselves. She reminds me all the time when I look at her, I see that little girl, I see the grown-up that she is now, and she reminds me that there is a way to express love that people can receive and that enriches us in the giving. Can't help but be good, because it is good. Civil rights activist, children's rights activist, Marian Wright Edelman, she says, we must not, in trying to think about how we can make a big difference, ignore the small daily differences we can make, which, over time, add up to big differences that we often cannot foresee. Those small steps make all the difference in the world, because what you do matters. Where and when you show up matters. Don't ever tell yourself that you're not enough. That's a lie. That's a lie that our society tells that would have us believe it, but it's not true. It's not true. If you can't do something big, if you can't feed 100 people, feed one. Right? If you can't make it to the March for Peace, make sure that you're making peace in your family. Show up from love, as love, because that is the truth of who you are, and that is what we are all called to do. And don't be afraid to be that light in the room, to shine brightly. The people that do that show the rest of us it's okay to shine brightly. It's okay to share your gift. It's okay to be noticed once in a while, because it matters. You matter. And besides that, it's science. They can prove it. They can prove that what you do matters. So there's a quote going around Facebook these days, and it's from, see if I can pronounce his name correctly, Ilya Prigozhin. He's Russian. Actually, he's from Brussels. He's the Nobel Peace Prize winner in chemistry, Nobel Prize winner in chemistry. And what he said was, when a complex system is far from equilibrium, U.S. government comes to mind, some relationships, sometimes it's your own body. When you're far from equilibrium, small islands of coherence in a sea of chaos have the capacity to shift the entire system to a higher order. Think about that for a minute. That's what's happening when you see in a movie or on the news a crowd of people are panicking and the first responders rush in and create an evacuation path or a way out and create order and flow. Or an airline flight attendant gets everybody off the plane. Do you know they're tested to make sure they can empty a plane in 90 seconds? 90 seconds, 300 people off the plane. So what appears to be chaos, if there is some point, some person, some activity that is orderly, it will in fact spread and create order everywhere. So don't think that you don't matter. Don't think that in the chaos of the world you don't have something to say about how things happen from here on out. You are in fact one of those islands in the chaos making a difference in the world. Now, when you take that down to the person level, Dalai Lama said basically the same thing, but he said it this way. Even if only a few individuals try to create mental peace and happiness within themselves and act responsibly and kind-heartedly towards others, they will have a positive influence in their community. We can all do that. We can all do that. So you matter, because the power of life and love within you, and yes, we do miss you if you don't come to the party, and your vote combined with everybody else's does create a society that we want to live in. And not enough is simply an opinion born of limited thinking. You are the love and life in action in this world. And I close with the words of Jane Goodall. What you do and who you are makes a difference. And you get to decide what kind of a difference you want to make. Namaste. So let's take a moment and align ourselves with this greater truth. This truth of oneness. This energy and essence of life that we can feel within us. Body, mind, and spirit. For the greater truth of us is that we are life in expression, that we are love in expression, that our spiritual nature is the engine that fuels us, that moves us in this world. And so every move that we make from love creates more love. Every talent and gift that we give creates a path of exchange for more of the same from those around us. And so each heart is of God. Each heart is of spirit. Each heart is love expressing. And so I speak a word for a clear path for love, knowing that where things do not appear clear or calm or sweet, that love will find a way. Love will make a way. Love will lift us all. And so I speak a word that we open a channel within our own beings to this love and allow it to flow freely in our giving, in our receiving, in our relationships, in our world. That there is, in fact, an essence that creates love and more love, life and more life, and it is ultimately good and very good. I know that each and every heart choosing love, choosing to act with kindness and compassion, choosing joy, acting in peace, that each one contributes to the whole, this vibrant tapestry of life, spreading order amongst chaos and lifting one another up. And I am grateful. Grateful for the gift of life, grateful for the awareness of spiritual truth, grateful for the blessings received in relationship and community that we share, and grateful for all that is yet to be. Grateful that life goes on and that I and each of us are part of it. And so I surrender this word into law, into the one mind, into the presence, the consciousness of all that is, knowing it is done as I speak, as I believe, knowing that love simply unfolds in space and time everywhere present. It can only be so, for it is all God and all good, and so it is. All right, if you will join me in saying our affirmation, you'll find it in your bulletin. And I ask you to repeat the sentence after me so that our friends online can also participate. Just as I am, I make a difference in the world. And so it is. And we welcome back Rick Dale to the stage.
What a big, delicious hunk of wisdom that was. I'm full. How many of you are fallible, imperfect beings? How many of you are perfect, holy, divine beings? This is a song about that I wrote a little while back. It's called I Am Enough. If ever I fly, God knows why. The mind that knows all will not let me fall. Oh, when I feel blind, God's light shines through you and me as harmony. I am enough. I'm made of God's got stuff. I go with the flow, and God lets me know that the balance of life is the dance of love. Though good may seem far, it's near as you are. Though bad may be here, it will disappear. In the middle of this, I have found bliss through you and me as harmony. I am enough, I'm made of God's stuff. I go with the flow, and God lets me know that the balance of life is the dance of love. Whenever I fail, God fills my sails. And when I succeed, it's not only me, it's that limitless light that makes it all right. Through you and me as harmony. Well, I am enough, I'm made of God's stuff. I go with the flow, and God lets me know that the balance of life is the dance of love. Stuff. I go with the flow, and God lets me know that the balance of life is the dance of love. I am enough. Yeah.
Whew. Awesome. One more time for Jeff on keyboards and Rick Dale. All righty then. Music is magic, you know that? You know, it's the one thing that like uses your whole brain as opposed to the way we usually live, which is one thing at a time. But music lights it all up. So you're all lit up. Good for you. All right, so in that light, let's celebrate our abundance by consciously choosing to give, whether it is of our time, talent, or treasure. Know that if you are here in the room, there are baskets in the back for your contributions. And if you're online, there is a donate button on our website or on our e-blast. And if you are here just visiting us for the first time, please know that your presence is your gift to us, that just by being here, you light up this community. And for that, we are grateful. So if you will, your intention or your contribution over your heart, and say with me the prosperity affirmation. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am prosperous now. Yeah. All right. We have flowers today from Julie Hartz. Do I know Julie? Is Julie here? Julie, thank you. Yay. It's really nice. We have flowers every week, but these are like, I can smell them standing here. It's lovely. You too can be part of the Flower Brigade. There's a sign-up sheet out front, and you donate the money to get the flowers, and then you take the flowers home with you afterwards. And in the meantime, it's beautiful up here, so thank you so much. Ingrid, we're good for today. We have our breathing meditation at 12 o'clock after service back here in the sanctuary. It's a 20-minute meditation led by our own Ingrid, and she is really, really good at this. Those of you that go come out looking all like light and centered and stuff. So think about sticking around a little bit after coffee and cookies and joining us for a 20-minute meditation. We have some exciting things going on. We have some classes starting next month. Now, I will remind you, as I do every week, your life is better when you are in class, right? And anyone who has taken a class knows that magical things happen when you are in class, right? Wonderful abundance shows up, and that's what you all want, is more abundance. So there's two things you can do. We have a beginning class. If you're new to Science of Mind or just want a refresher on the basic principles, Reverend Mary will be teaching Foundations, which is really the heart and soul of what we teach. It gives you a little more time to get into the depth of these principles, things like oneness and forgiveness and unity, and I don't know, what else do we teach? Love, love, meditation, spiritual practice, all that good stuff. This is a great class for that. It goes step by step and helps you to understand better how it fits into your own life. It also explains this circle thing up on the wall behind me, so that's always good. That'll be on Tuesdays from 6:30 to 8:30 in the evening in the boardroom here. It's also available on Zoom if you can't, maybe you don't drive at night or it's just too hard for you to get here by then. You can always dial in and then it will also work. So Reverend Mary's not here this week, but her sign-up sheet is out front. So if you're interested, put your name and number down so we can get in touch with you and get you the information you need for Foundations. That will start October 10th and we'll finish the second week of December. The second class is a second level class, so if you've had Foundations or you know Science of Mind already, it's called Exploring Roots of Science of Mind. It is sort of a deep dive into the authors that influenced Ernest Holmes, the founder of this philosophy. So we do a few weeks reading Thomas Troward, we read Emma Curtis Hopkins and Ralph Waldo Emerson. It is a bit of reading, I won't lie to you. However, no one has died from it yet. So don't let that scare you. Do come. It's a fabulous class. I've never had anybody take that class who didn't have a major life shift. So I invite you to sign up. Again, there's a sign-up sheet. We'll start the week of October 12th, which is Thursday, or Saturday, the 14th, depending on what people can do. So there's a place for you to check which classes you would be available for Thursday night or Saturday morning. If you have a preference, put 1, 2 in both columns if you can do both, but you have a preference. Whatever the most people can do, that's what we'll do. And if there's enough people, I'll teach it twice. I can do Roots twice in 1 week. I can read it all fine, no problem, really. Even your homework. Okay, did I say homework? Oh, no homework. Anyway, starts the second week of October also, and then we'll finish before Christmas. And if we are on Thursday nights, no, there will not be class on Thanksgiving. That would be silly. All right, sign-up sheet in the foyer. I think that's most of what we had. Oh, yeah, we have this party next Saturday. I know most of you are old enough to remember love beads. Now, these look a lot like Mardi Gras beads, but really they're love beads. And if you buy your ticket to the hippie party, this will be your admission ticket right here. You can even pick out the color you want. It's $15 per person, $25 per couple. In true 60s fashion, it's a pizza party with other finger foods. However, no magic brownies. Sorry, we're not doing that here. We may have beer and wine, but we will not have magic brownies. We may have brownies, but they'll be normal. Just saying that up front. It's going to be a blast. We encourage you to wear costumes. It's really just for fun. We have live music. The Jacksons will be performing. Dennis Bryan will be back performing. We'll be able to rock out to 60s music, and it'd be really fun to see you all dressed up as hippies. It would be really, you all remember that, right? I know most of you are old enough to remember. I was very young, but I do remember. Bell bottoms? You have bell bottoms? Tie-dye shirts? Dirt? Okay, we can make it Woodstock if you want. We can bring mud in. It'll be fine. Anyway, we'd love to see you. It's this coming Saturday, 5 to 9 here at the center. It's going to be fun. If you can get your tickets today, talk to Mickey. At least get on the sign-up sheet so we know how much food to have. You can always pay at the door if you need to do that, but we would like to know how many people are coming. And you know what? This is a great event to invite your friends to drag your kids along to. It's sing-along music, people. I know you know all the words to all these songs, and so do your kids, because you've probably tortured them with it their whole lives. So come, dance, sing, dress up. If you don't dress up, that's fine. We'll have a place where you can get your face painted or get love beads or, something 60s. It'll be great fun. So I hope to see you all there. I think now that's all we. Oh, well, I got one more. Some of you have been asking about adding singing back into our services, which we are looking to do. We're going to add an opening song that we all stand and sing together, and we're going to add a couple of songs at the end that we can sing before we leave for home. And we've also heard comments and had some ideas about getting us a little bit more together. I don't know if you know what the view is like from up here, but there's this vast desert in the middle where there's like someone way back there, and then everyone else is out there. And I don't know if you noticed, but I do this a lot. So we are thinking that at least for the winter, where it's a little bit more economical to heat the building, we will move our service on Sunday morning into the chapel, complete with music and live streaming and all of you. And what I encourage you to do is to think about that. Try that on. Do you remember when we had to do this once before when the AC first went out in the middle of summer? It wasn't too long ago. Some of you were here for that. The energy is fabulous. So I'm going to invite you to think about how we will look all nice and happy together singing in the chapel. And it'll be the first part of October. I'm not quite sure which weekend yet. The party next weekend kind of makes for a lot of activity. So we'll probably wait a week or two before we do that. And if anyone knows of a piano mover, we would like to get the baby over here into the other room, preferably all in one piece, which means we're not moving it ourselves. So if you know of a piano mover, please let me know. Anything else? Are we good? All right, well, let's stand up and rock out to Eddie Watkins.
Take a look at the person next to you and say, God loves you and I love you too. Now feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after